Hi and welcome to TranAm TV. My name's Ed Miles and this is the Daytona TravelStar Pro GTX. So we've got the TravelStar Pro GTX and the TravelStar GTX. Slight differences in the armour makeup. One passes the CE standard, which is obviously the Pro boot. So that's for professional riders, police riders, anything that needs that CE approval on their boot. In essence, it's the same boot. So, if I talk you through the Pro versions first of all, the other one's exactly the same, slightly less armour. That's the only difference between the two boots. There is obviously a price difference between the two as well. For information on pricing, please see www.tranam.co.uk. But anyway, back to the boot. What we've got is a full touring commuting boot. This boot's a full grain leather on the outer, kangaroo leather on the stretch panels. As you expect with a touring boot, a thick touring sole with a gel pad to reduce vibrations under the foot, so it's much more comfortable for touring and commuting those long distance rides you're going to be doing in this sort of boot. All in water resistant sole as well. Buckled onto that, you've also got a steel galvanised shank inside the boot to reduce the crushing effect if you do have the bike fall on you in the event of an accident. On the front of the boot, on the gear change pad, we've got a layer of plastic underneath this gear change pad to protect the Goretex layer from leaking. When you change gear on a bike, the toes come up and the toenails can wear away the Goretex over time. This creates leaking problems. So what they do with the boot is they add a layer between the Goretex and your toe that stops that happening. This reduces the amount of leakage you're going to get through the front of the boot and should stop it entirely. Running up the side of the boot, as with all Daytona boots, we've got a full curved zip. The reason for the curved zip is if you do have an accident, you get massive forces on the zip itself. You can get bursting of the zip. Where the zip undoes, what will happen here is it will stop around this point, gives you the best chance of the boot staying on in the event of an accident. Straight zips don't do this, they just burst straight open, you can lose the boot in the accident. So always a curved zip with Daytona. Spin the boot round, you've got a secondary zip down the other side, inside the boot. Secondary zip on this sort of type boot is exceptionally important. Some of you out there will have had problems with doing up boots when they're new because the leather's not bedded and stretched. What the secondary zip here does is allows you to pull the shin protector right around the front of the boot, allows you to do that first zip up and then you do the short zip up second and you're in the boot, no problems at all. It makes life so much easier, reduces stress on the boot itself, reduces stress on your fingers and also allows you to scan the boot so much easier. So, once both those zips are open, you've also got extra adjustability at the back of the boot. Very simply, you've got a Velcro fixed calf adjuster on the back of the boot. Again, if you undo that when you're putting the boot on when it's new and it hasn't bended and stretched, you can run these zips forward a bit, gives you a bit more to do that zip up if you've got big calves, big insteps. The Daytona boot is a wide fit anyway, so you should be able to get into these boots no problem at all. There's a big range of sizes as well. Moving to the inside of the boot, we've got a full Goretex lining. As you can see from here, the Goretex comes right to the top of the boot. Unlike Italian boots where the Goretex only comes halfway up the boot, this gives you a full waterproof product. So you shouldn't have any problems with leaking. 2 years guarantee on the waterproofing from Goretex, 1 year on the manufacture of the boot itself. It's a standard type of Goretex with a thermal back as well, so in the cold conditions you should keep warm feet as long as you're wearing the right socks underneath it. Running the boot back up, a few other features on the exterior of the boot. We've got a water resistant leather on the outside so it shouldn't soak up too much water. Obviously the waterproofing is based on the inside of the boot. The care you get with the Daytona boot is second to none. So you can wear these boots for years, you can wear out the sole, give your dealer a call, get the boot back to them, they'll give you a quote for the cost to replace the sole, replace the Goretex, replace any panel you need, replace the gear change pad, off to Germany, back into the production cycle, and you're going to get a boot back that's going to last you another good few years. So you're not buying boots every year, every 2 years because the gear change is worn through or the sole's worn out. You're going to get a boot and it's going to last you the time. It's an investment in a pair of Daytonas. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Fully comfortable, very protective, CE approved boot with the Pro version. For any more information, please see www.tranam.co.uk.